Hopefully, we are working now. What is happening, Fish and friends? Welcome to another Saturday Night Live. I'm excited. Tonight we are talking Baitcasters versus spinning, and I was organizing today. As you can see, stuff is an absolute mess. Trying to move things from here to there. I still don't know what I'm going to do. The mess never seems to go away. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but
At least it's not multiplying. That would be worse.
no, it's just kind of moving back and forth. So I'm trying to figure out. I need to get like a better studio setup. As you can see, I've only got one light over here, so it's very bright this way, and then like nothing over here because I'm against the wall. I don't have a very nice studio setup, and I can't do anything because the wall is literally right behind my camera here. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I don't know what we're gonna do, but just got done cleaning some fish tanks. I did get in a couple new pieces of gear that we're gonna look at tonight. Well, one is new. The other is like I think kind of new. I don't think anybody's seen it, but it's not really that
New.
new. How about you? What's new out there? Anything?
Nothing. I woke up to one of the best things you can wake up to ever today. Um, and that's a flat tire.
Those are always fun. Yeah.
Yep. The best part about it is where I had parked, there was still ice and snow on the ground. So I had to deal with laying on the ground trying to find the jack spot. And that was fun. I like that. I like laying on the icy snow.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a good time. And to toughen you up. I feel like you're a lumberjack out there now doing lumberjacky things and Mr. Fix It stuff. I feel like it's par for the course.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, basically.
The hat is backwards, Dizzle is safe. All right, so first off, just like Mr. Frank Cornacci there, all my members, I thank you guys and gals so much for supporting me. Everybody who's watching, whether you're a member or not, always blows me away how many people we have watch these and hang out with us. So tonight, I figured we'd do something a little bit different. I texted Mr. Dizzle earlier, like, do you have any ideas for something different? He's like, oh, let me think about it. Of course, never gets back to me because trying to communicate with this guy is like sending messages to extraterrestrials. It's like I just send a code out there in the universe and hope that something comes back, and it usually doesn't. So tonight, Baitcaster versus spinning. I thought we'd go over just kind of the mechanics real quick, in case there's any folks that are new to one or the other, and because that's also going to kind of lead us into some of the pros and cons of each. So a new piece of gear that I picked up, one that I was hinting at, and I already froze. Already froze for the night. That's fun. Let me check the things here. See if something's running in the background.
Is that a Abu Garcia? Is that a Xeon? You got a Xeon. Oh, he left. He left. So alone. Just kidding. I have all of you, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, I don't know. My mouse isn't working too. So is this a technical debauchery of shenanigans tonight or what? But this dang mouse doesn't work at all. I would like a nice mouse. Keyboard too. Hey.
Press the button. Oh my goodness. What kind of noob do we have running this show? Good Lord.
I have no idea.
Abu Garcia, the new Abu Garcia Revo X. This is one I can get my hands on. The old X was one of my favorites. I think a good solid reel, aluminum frame. It just worked, flat out worked. So this one, the only thing that I noticed just looking at the specs when I first got it is they didn't do the aluminum frame again. Now this does come with the new Revo line of like frame. What am I thinking? Ergonomics or design, I guess, the new frame design, which I kind of like because so this is a righty. As you cup it with your finger, I'm a line fingerer. It kind of rolls over there the way your fingers go. So that's the first thing I noticed, and I do like the fit of it. The Revos were always pretty skinny this way, so it's really comfortable in hand. I do like the rubbery grip things that they've got on it. I'll go more into depth on this in a video soon, but overall pretty slick looking reel. I just really wish they would have kept the aluminum frame. So I'm going to beat this one up, see if we can break it, because I had people telling me that it doesn't matter, right? An aluminum frame doesn't matter on a Baitcaster. So I think it does. That's just
is that are those the grips, I should say? They're not your old school traditional grips. They're a little bit wider, a little bit thicker. And you froze again. But they have
again, dude. What the?
They have that little he's back already? Are you on? Oh, he's gone again. I think those grips, I actually kind of like those. They have, I think they have like a stickier grip right in the middle. It allows you to, I don't know, get a good purchase on it.
I don't know, dude. I don't.
Why? And then I can't hear you.
You can't
hear. Damn it!
Oh my gosh, what a night! I don't know why it does this. There's
can you
nothing
hear me,
else. Yes.
Debo? Okay. I can't hear you though. Did you say something?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Do you just want to?
All right, I kicked Randall, so he'll join back in. He usually has to join. Sorry for the technical difficulties tonight. Anyway, the Revo X, the new one, looks good. Red, black, silver, pretty simple aesthetics. So I dig it. But the Baitcasters. So as you can see with the Baitcaster, the spool, when you click it down your thumb bar, spool's only moving in one direction, right? So versus a spinning reel that we're going to look at here, kind of the pros and cons of each. Now, I don't know what tonight's drinking game. Every time Debo freezes, take a drink. Yeah, y'all will be crushed. I don't know what Randall was going to say there. I think he had a question on this, but spinning system. There's already all kinds of funny stuff going on here. We can hear both. Yeah, I know. I am so sorry, guys. It's the dumb internet things. Pay your bills. Yes, I have paid my bills. I don't know why it does that. I don't have Walmart internet. That's the weird thing. And there's nothing else running on my computer. So I don't know if it's because it's like the 1080 new fancy schmancy camera. I don't know. And it's directly plugged in. I don't have it into like a link deal, but Baitcasters. So what do you all think? Baitcasters, are they more comfortable to fish than a spinning reel? That's one big thing for me is I would rather have a Baitcaster in my hand fishing all day. It's more comfortable for me to fish. Flipping and pitching short distances, just short roll casts and stuff, even long distance casts. I think a Baitcaster is a lot more accurate as well. Now, I know there's going to be 10 people that argue with me and say, well, I can hit an ant's butt from 100 yards away with my spinning rig. And that's fine if you can. Just my opinion. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Just awesome. My opinion is that a Baitcaster is a lot more accurate. The other thing with a Baitcaster is it can handle more like setting power, I think. Now, again, I know people are going to completely disagree and, go out on that limb. There's ocean angler fishing people that, fight huge fish with a spinning rod. And you can do all these both ways, right? Like you can do anything we're going to talk about both ways. There's not a right or wrong way, just kind of some things that I feel like are better. You can hit fish harder with larger tackle, especially with a Baitcaster rod. So a lot of the spinning rods are usually going to run softer. So even like a regular medium heavy spinning rod is still going to be a lot more parabolic, a lot more bendy than a Baitcaster combo. Now, again, you can find combos like that. People make fun of, people who fish a frog on a spinning rod. I've seen it done. I would never make fun of somebody like that. Like do whatever makes you happy. But those are just some things for me. Randall, what about you? Is there any time that you're like, I like a Baitcaster X because I just think it's way better than a spinning rod for this thing?
Well, I will say that I have also used I used to run those flappy, wappy legged frogs on a spinning rod.
Like a toad. So like a soft plastic sticky toad.
Yeah, straight braid to a EWG hook. So as far as that, the only thing that I wouldn't necessarily want to do with a spinning reel is throw a jig. I know you throw the super, super, super light jigs. I've just never had any of those to actually use with the spinning rig. And then in that same breath, I have used a Baitcaster for a Ned rig, but it's not nearly as good. It's just casting's a pain. So that's a Ned kind of combo is better off, I think, anyway, in my opinion.
Finesse
On
stuff.
yeah, but on the
Yeah, we're
same
getting
thing
to that.
again.
Hold on, we're getting to
Okay,
spinning.
fine,
Baitcaster.
whatever.
What's one thing that you love about a baitcaster over spinning all day? So for me, I said like comfort. I'm 1,000
Yeah,
times more accurate with a baitcaster, and like harder
distance.
hitting stuff. Yeah, that kind of goes back and forth. Like I have some things I feel like I can cast farther on a baitcaster, and there's some things I feel like
Hmm.
I can huck out there better with a spinning rod.
Yeah,
So that kind of depends,
I
but
would say the comfort, like the physical comfort in hand. A baitcaster
I
fits
agree.
better palmed. I
I agree.
know if I fish a spinning rod for too long, like this knuckle right here kind of starts to get irritated because it's up against the I don't know, whatever it's called, part of the spinning reel. Um, and it's not going to tangle up with everything else like a spinning rod wheel,
Yep.
baitcasters.
I agree. And I mean, of course, so some negatives to a bait caster. I don't think the drag and playing a fish is anywhere near as good on a bait caster. Obviously, that's why you see the salt guys. And anytime you're playing a fish, spinning is hands down better. Um, for lighter stuff, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, I like it more. So I think bait casters a lot of the time, and I'm not talking BFS. I'm still not sold on BFS. I've tried it, and I think it's kind of silly still. Maybe if somebody had like a really sick combo and I was using it, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. But I would just rather throw ultralight spinning. And then of course backlashes, right? Backlashes happen on a baitcaster. Even the pros, the most seasoned people, Randy and I still get them. They happen. Now going over to a spinning reel. What do you love about a spinning reel? So here's one. A lot of people have been asking questions on. I still have not done the video yet. The Miravel Shimano Miravel. This is the 2500. I showed the JDM version, and I didn't notice when I got that one. It's like the extra shallow spool version. So it's like for real finessey stuff. I got the 2500 size. This one is not. So this is like your regular. What's it say? It holds nylon mono. I don't even know what that one is. 8-pound mono, 170 yards. So you got a ton of line capacity. So for you, Randall, what's one thing that you love about spinning that you think spinners do better than the baitcaster?
Honestly, I feel like I don't want to say they're not more versatile, but I feel like you can move around a lot better, a lot easier with a spinning rod, like into tight places. Because Yahtzee,
Yo!
because usually you're dealing with a shorter
Teasing that
rod.
guy
I
like
am anyway with my spinning combos. I have one spinning combo that's 7 foot. The rest of them are less than that. So what I do anyway is, ducking in and out of those little tight places. Like if you're gonna
oh, that's true
walk
gamer.
through the woods and trees and stuff,
Yeah, I would
I
only
think
make fun of
that's
Dizzle doing that. Anybody else, it's completely normal and I accept it. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. I just feel like you can catch that whole range. Like if I just want to, for whatever reason, want to sit down with a bobber and a minnow, I'm probably going to do it with a spinning rod. If I just want to sit at the end of the dock and enjoy the day or whatever, something like that. I'm not going to ever do with a baitcaster, just
Yeah.
because it seems like that's like 100% overkill. Um, and
Yeah.
it's a lot more fun to fish a baitcaster, or excuse me, a spinning rod, and actually fight those fish. They're rip and drag, and
Yes.
all those littler fish feel like they're monsters, or
Yes.
can feel like they are.
Completely agree. And Hammer brings up a good point. Yeah, like for the big saltwater stuff, yeah, it's those big like single hand winch, the big
Yeah.
round bait casters, almost like the old or not old, like the Abu Ambassadors. Is that what they were? Or like the
Yeah.
Shimano Cardiff or Calcuttas, those round, bigger round
Hmm.
reels. So yeah, absolutely. But I'm talking like this the smaller, I guess maybe inshore is more of a deal, but where you're fighting the fish, letting it pull line, that type
Yep.
of thing. So that's for me one thing with the spinning rig. You can go light stuff. You know, obviously there's no inertia needed. So that's the big difference with casting a spinning reel is once you flip that bail over and throw it, it's literally just the weight of the lure pulling line off here. There's no moving parts involved. Compared to the Baitcaster, you need inertia. You need something actually with enough force and weight pulling that line off of your reel as it's pulling the line out as it's unwinding with the spool, right? With this, nothing's moving. There's nothing moving here. It's just the line going off. So you can cast lighter things a bunch easier. You can play fish a lot easier. You know, depending on the size, they're also more versatile in what you want to do and how much line you need. So like if I get a Baitcaster, I don't have any choice. If I get the new Garcia Revo X, that's it. You know, I get that and whatever line I can fit on there. If I wanted to go with a Miraval, I could go 1,000, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, you know, depending on the reel, and fit it to what you need. So both definitely have their pros and cons. And kind of what that was getting us into, just to start the discussion, is lures. So the title of the video was to stop being stubborn. And this really goes both ways now. So back in the day, I think it was more, and we are going to have a couple giveaways kind of themed with this. Back in the day, I think it was always people being stubborn, not wanting to go to a spinning rod, right? It's the sissy stick, the whippy stick. You know, oh, my kids still use a spinning rod. That's what you use to fish. You know, wherever that mantra came from, I don't know, tough power fishing guys. But now you look at any sort of pro fishing series and they've got Baitcasters and spinning, right? So one thing I'm going to go with first, let's say, let's go with this one. So we're going to have two giveaways, a bait casting giveaway and a spinning giveaway. And I'm just going to kind of go through some of these. I'll try to keep them separate. Let's say crankbaits. Randy, what do you throw all of your crankbaits on?
Baitcaster.
Baitcaster. I will agree 85% of the time, and I'm going to throw jerkbaits into this. Jerkbaits, crankbaits, hard baits. I switch over to a spinning rod, and you should have no shame in doing so with smaller crankbaits, especially balsa baits. They're light. They're hard as hell to cast on a Baitcaster, oftentimes, especially if you have a little bit of wind. Same thing for the smaller jerkbaits. Randy, like this one that I still have sitting here for I don't know how long. You know, these little, gosh, I don't even know what size these are. Would these be like a 70, something like that?
Oh, yeah. Those are the real little ones.
Yeah, like 3-inch. That's your 3-inch jerkbait. Something like this on a spinning rod. Small crankbaits, small jerkbaits, small topwaters. Zara Spook Puppy. I actually threw that on a Baitcaster when I was a kid, but I started on a spinning rod. So any sort of treble hook bait, you know, hard little small baits like this, never ever be afraid to throw one of those on a spinning rod. You know, don't let social media or whatever persuade you into thinking you can't do that. Let's see. I am way behind in comments, so I'm starting to catch up. What do you all think?
Hey, can I just?
Baits?
I know we kind of ragged on. No, we didn't rag on. We brought up some pros and cons for Baitcasters, but really didn't touch on any cons for a spinning rod. Do you want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah. Cons for spinning. People think they're untouchable, right? Oh, I don't use a Baitcaster because they backlash. Don't be an idiot. Just switch to a spinning rod. Problem fixed, right? Well, you've got wind knots. You've got line twist.
Wind knots are one of the worst things ever because I don't notice them. They don't necessarily affect how you're fishing. And for me anyway, I'm only catching it halfway in. Like it may have happened 7 casts ago and I just haven't noticed it.
No, I don't loosen the drag on his spinning reels. He can't keep that thing untangled anyway, so he does it himself, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's the only other thing. It's like, how do they get tangled up and everything so much? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, they do. Anytime you get rods tangled up, it's the spinning rig's fault. Always.
Always.
Let's see. Going through the rest of this. Talking about line. Oh, that's another really good one. Yeah, Art. Skipping lures, spinning reel. Boom.
Yep.
You don't have to be a pro. Anybody can skip on a spinning rod. And if you mess it up, no big deal. The other thing is reeling in loose lines. So if I'm working like a wacky rig or a Ned rig, sometimes I won't be paying attention and it'll grab like a little bit too much when I'm reeling it in. And it's not necessarily a wind knot, but it will like when it's winding onto the spinning reel loose, it'll kind of grab a bunch and throw it off. And then I end up getting that tangled. Like that happens too. So they're not 100%,
So the other thing that
backlash / lion problem proof.
the only other thing that I've noticed is like or I should say, I have the line somehow within the first 3 eyes, like wrap around and not knot itself up, but somehow just with any type of wind or anything like that, if you move it too much and there's a little bit of slack in the actual line, it seems to like wrap around the first couple of tips. But overall, it is
Yeah, I can do that too. Yep.
one of those that are way easier to kind of get your comfort in fishing specific types of lures too, though.
Yep. DTF Fishing nailed it. Yeah, what we were talking about earlier. Why is this a contest? You should have both. That's the point. People should stop being stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
Each has a place. Each thing works for different things.
Breaking news, Debo. Are you sitting down for this one?
Okay.
I successfully tied a Alberto knot leader on my spinning combo.
Hey,
and that is what I caught that 4.5 pounder on.
Dang, yeah. Randall had an outing the other day in the chilliness of Nebraska out there. Caught a 4.5 L beer. Randy, very, very nice, sir.
Thank you. It was weird. It was, it was the first open water fish in February that I think I ever have caught. But I was fishing and I stopped to do something real quick, and then I went to reel it up, and I was like, was that a bite? Do I have a bite? Do I have a fish on? Set the hook, and he was very lethargic, if you will.
Yeah. Cold water, just ice out. Pew Pew Nerd also nailed it. At the end of the day, generally spinning rod guys not wanting to learn how to use a baitcaster rod and reel, and some baitcast guys only wanted to fish a certain style, not be flexible. You nailed it, dude. Mm-hmm. You absolutely nailed it. Spinning guys saying, "Oh, well, if you want to have a headache, throw a baitcaster. You're an idiot. Fish a spinning reel, and you won't have any of that." Or the baitcaster guys going, "I don't want to pick up a sissy stick. I only want to power fish." Right? So, absolutely. Chris McVeigh, my man, how are you, brother? So, what about the BFS? I'm not the guy to ask on BFS. I am not a BFS lover whatsoever. I still don't buy into the hype of it, but. Basic Bassin said nighttime fishing spinning. Yeah, you don't have to worry if you accidentally hit the water when you can't see your bait without stopping the spool. Don't got to worry about that. Yep, line twist, biggest problem on a spinning reel. Absolutely. Yep, they put twist on there and by design. Yeah, unless you're doing something that's got tension on it the whole time, you're generally always going to get a little bit of that.
John.
That's why
John
I like braid.
John F. actually brings up the DC reels where they are harder to backlash. It still happens. So, I mean, it's not a end all be all with them. They do help. They are, more forgiving with, different types of casts and things like that. But still, it's, at the end of the day, you still got to at least be semi-proficient with any type of combo that you're using.
I've had that too. Yeah, I've had that where I'm not watching. I'm reeling up loose line again. It's usually when it happens and it accidentally grabs and goes under the spool and the gears. Like, no, you got to take the spool off, and you feel like a 5-year-old. You're like, oh my God, I remember the first time I ever used one of these damn reels. Okay, anyway, we're going to go down to Zillion over DC all day. I agree, Jason. Zillion's the best reel on the market right now, I think. Okay, so what else do we have in the spinning reel? Like I said, two giveaways going tonight. This little critter, I threw one of these in for each. It's got like flappy arms on it. It's like a craw. I think I got these on Amazon a long time ago, and I was going to do a challenge with you, and it never happened. So I'm like, I'm cleaning stuff out. I'm like, somebody can get this. Is that kind of
like a cicada-ish thing? Or
it could be. I mean, maybe. So a lot of this stuff is actually from the Bank and Creek bag, like a couple bags ago from that Bank and Creek kit that I showed you guys off of LureNet. So there's a little raider. I've never thrown this little Rebel raider, but I don't know if it's a topwater, if it's a subsurface. Pretty cool little deal. There's a little jerkbait in there for your trout fishing, finesse bass fishing. Let's see. There's, of course, some curly tail grubs. A curly tail grub on a spinning rig, dude. Everything with a
little jig head.
Hybrids. Doesn't matter, dude. Sonar minnow, we've got some of those in there. Really like those. You could drop shot it. You can put it on a little jig head. Perfect for your spinning rig fishing. What else is in here? A headin', I think they call it sonar blade or something like that. It's purple and yellow. You can't really see it in light, but it's a purp and yellow to throw on your spinning rig. Of course, a rooster tail, another one of my absolute favorites for any sort of spinning fishing. This was the lure net sticker they had in that lure net bag. I'll throw that in. The Roadrunners, also another good old one in the day. You could put the that sonar minnow on there, the grub on there, either one. I've got some little crappy deals, some Bobby Garlands. They have like a little curly tail on the end of it. So it's kind of like a long bait fish thing. I've never fished these. Those are pretty neat though. Some robo worms. I've also got some Ned jig heads I'll throw in here. I couldn't find them. Some robo worms in Ayler's Edge. Some of the man's jelly worms. These were the new ones, the wacky jelly worms. I did have a video on this where I caught fish on them. I had a couple packs, and I like throwing these on a weighted wacky rig. Throwing them like that. You could do them on like a little shaky head. Kind of cool deal with the little ribs on them. And I think that's everything for that one. Like I said, some Ned heads. Oh, nope, we got some more in here. Some Ned heads I'll throw in. Shaky heads. Oh, little 1/4 ounce lipless. Little 1/4 ounce Bill Lewis on a spinning rod is awesome. I had, gosh, that's been a few years ago. Oh, it's more than that. Where I was catching crappie and bass on a little 1/4 silver, one of those. Again, you can catch anything on it. And then for Randy, this is what Randy throws whenever he goes frog fishing. The Lunker Hunt pocket frog. You can see it's like a little 2-inch frog to throw on your spinning rod. No clue where this came from. It's got the stupid legs on it that I don't like. I don't know why Lunker Hunt does that. Yeah, red and black. And and I threw a DEBO sticker in there. The old DEBO stickers. All right, so that's the first one. Randy, what is one lure? And I'm telling you, try to think outside the box here. What is one more lure that you throw on a spinning rig that people should stop being stubborn once you've started throwing that way? You're like, oh, this is actually a lot easier than trying to mess with it on a baitcaster. You already kind of gave one good tip, was like the soft plastic frogs.
Yeah.
Like a little soft plastic toad, topwater toad.
Yeah. You know, honestly, this isn't probably the best answer, but any of those micro, if you remember a couple of lives ago, geez, could you hold that like a little bit closer to the microphone when you do that?
I'm sorry. Am I Randy Crinkling? My bad.
When you
Flunker on spider.
God, what was I even saying? Oh, the super micro Z-Man chatterbait.
That's another good one.
The
fat wraps.
The first time I caught a 5-pounder, it was on, I've told this story before, a micro spinnerbait. Just those little tiny things that you wouldn't think, would be a meal really for any bass of any type of size. They surprise you. And again, that's a spinning combo. And for me, I can get those into like super, super tight places where it's very easy to just kind of get those pinpointed in there, I guess.
Yep. Weightless Texas rig. A lot of good answers out here from folks. Weightless Texas rig. And I'm not saying just a Cinco, because I think a lot of people already do that. I'm talking like you could throw a creature bait. People will throw a weightless craw. I don't ever do that, but I know a lot of people that have asked if I've ever done that. Yeah, like so the soft plastic frogs. Oh, a popper. Absolutely. Yeah. A small popper is great to throw on a spinning rig.
They help you like with the cadence of like walking or popping and things like that too, I think, anyway, because it's a little bit easier for me anyway to start out with, or when I started out, top water walking a bait, or a popper, things like that on a spinning reel or spinning combo.
Yep. Lots of good answers out there. Let's see. Jerkbait. Yeah, jerkbait's a big one, especially when it's windy. Like, don't even try those, especially those smaller ones. Ooh, Brennan's bringing the frog box out tomorrow. I'm jealous. People talking about walleye, different cranks for walleye, throwing it on one. The cover scat. The new small money badgers. Great point, Mr. Critchley. Yeah, the new small money badgers will definitely be one I would throw on a spinning rig. 1/4 ounce spinner baits. Yeah, if you don't have like a good finesse, like to me, a medium power spinning rig is great for those lighter like cranks and spinner baits. But yeah, 1/4 ounce and down is kind of that spot, or 1/4 ounce ish is kind of that spot where you switch from a baitcaster, for me anyway, switch from baitcaster over to a spinning rig. Not that you can't, I'm not saying that you can't go like a 3/16 or something like that on a baitcaster, but crappie jigs, yeah, lots of good answers out there. So that's going to be one giveaway. Now, on the other side of things, baitcaster. So Randy, what is one thing that normally people would say, oh, I always throw this on a spinning rod, but you're like, actually, I've switched to throwing that on a baitcaster and I really like it?
Honestly, I think we've had this conversation before. I like throwing a weightless stick, weightless like Senko or something like that on a baitcaster.
Yep.
Just because there was one day that we went out, I didn't have a spinning rod with me, and I just started using, just started using a weightless. It was a heavier hook, no weight, and I tried to get a saltier or heavier, I should say, worm as well. But yeah, that's one thing that I did, and I liked it.
Yeah, that's one thing. I know a lot of people when they're starting out, if they throw like a regular 5-inch stick bait, can kind of have troubles casting that. It's usually because they've got too stiff of a setup, the line's too heavy, or they've got a baitcaster that's just not really meant for that. Nowadays, technology's gotten so good with baitcasters that as long as you have it on a rod that can load it, like the rods, I think the number one thing is if you're trying to throw a stick bait on a heavy rod that can't load that weight, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Line helps a lot too. Like if you go from 15-pound line down to 12 or like 10, it's night and day difference when you're trying to cast something light. I don't know.
I want to say I used it. I want to say
head.
when I did it, I was throwing 12-pound. It wasn't quite a cranking stick. It was 12-pound fluorocarbon, and it was a super light setup, which helped out a ton.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So if you're having trouble casting that 5-inch stick bait, dropping that line and then going with a heavier hook. So a lot of people will just have like a regular wire hook. You can jump up to a little bit heavier wire hook as long as your rig can, set that hook. And just bumping up an inch. It's funny how much going from a 5-inch stick bait to a 6-inch stick bait, that little extra bit of plastic, and bumping up from like a 3/0 hook to like a 5/0 on a 6-inch stick bait will help you cast it a ton easier. So I saw somebody threw it out there. Oh, Tyrell. So Tyrell's actually got my answer. So generally always shaky heads, always been a fan of shaky heads. And to me, shaky head was always kind of a finesse thing. Like I really didn't throw much over an 1/8 ounce. And I'm not talking about like ledge fishing, big shaky heads and stuff. That's not anything I ever grew up doing. For me and Dad, like if we were doing that type of stuff, it was like a Carolina rig or a Texas rig. And we don't have like the big, huge drop offs, or I didn't grow up fishing that way with like the big ledges and stuff. But for me, I remember watching an episode of Hank Parker, like a more recent one, and he was talking about fishing his worms, like regular ribbon tail worms, on a shaky head and throwing like 1/4 ounce shaky head on his baitcaster. I remember watching, and I was like, yeah, that's a good deal. And hey, get ready to take a drink. This was the first time Gander Mountain went out of business. I got a whole bunch of the Strike King. I'll show you guys these. And I still to this day have a couple packages left. I probably got like 15 packages. They were $1. And you got 3 or 4 in a pack. Whoops. Let me share. And I'll just kind of show you why I like these on a little bit larger setup. Because again, so generally for me, when I'm going into the heavier stuff, bait casting stuff.
Back. Did you hit back? What happened?
No. I should be sharing. Am I not sharing? Can you see me? Uh-oh, what happened?
Did you mute me, Debo?
I did not. Can you guys hear? Can you guys see in here that I'm sharing? Everything shows correct on my screen. I think it's a Dizzle. You're sharing. Okay. Yeah, Daniel T says we're good. It's a you problem, Dizzle.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
You sound kind of in the distance. Your headset must have died or something.
Yeah, I think it died. I got to charge it. So just on the speaker on my phone.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. So anyway, I was going to say, so the Strike King, if we go to brand, Strike King, not Strike Pro, Strike King, and go down to the terminal stuff. The reason I like these is because they're a little bit heavier hook. They're not crazy heavy, but on like a medium to like a soft medium heavy. Oh, is that a new color? Saltwater?
Is it like the
Iceberry.
Snosberry?
Huh. I didn't know they had saltwater ones of those. How big are those? 3.5 inch. Okay. Anyway.
Squirrel.
Sorry. Anyway, go into a Shaky Head, and you can pick whichever one. I'm sure there's tons more on the market now. Like I said, I had, I don't know, probably 15 packs of these. So when we were talking about soft plastic toads, what Randy was throwing on a spinning rig, something like this. These are a little 4-inch with like a 4-aught hook in it, a screw-in hook. They're pretty light. You can throw them on a Baitcaster, absolutely no problem. But on a spinning rod, it is really fun just to flip them out there as far as you can and cover water. So yeah, that is another good option. Another squirrel detour there. Sorry. But it's these Shaky Heads have a little bit heavier hook. It's just a regular round ball head. And this is probably a better view. Does it show the top? That kind of sucks. But anyway, so that's all it is. So you hook just the tip of it on there, put the tip of the worm there, and then run it up weedless. So a little bit heavier hook if you're throwing it on a Baitcaster is a thing to watch out for and try to find one like that. Painted, you got 3 in a pack. Yeah, so that was a good deal on those. So I don't remember what else I was going with that. That was a whole bunch of squirrels in between. Oh, that was my answer, was throwing a Shaky Head after watching that on Hank Parker. Gosh, that's been years and years ago now. Probably, I don't know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Good tip. So
the one thing that I was kind of thinking of when I went heavier is I was just thinking of like your regular Gamakatsu EWG hook as compared to like a trocar, just like a super thick boy trocar. What I jumped up to that day, I was using a Baitcaster with a stick bait.
Gotcha. Okay, so for the bait casting combo stuff here, we're gonna get into. We got a little Mike Booka bullshit here, 3.75 inch. I've got a few different things from PNW Bass Candy. So I bought some stuff from them a while back and did like an unboxing. I found some of those that I hadn't used. So they've got some dual tail grubs, which is just like that Menace I was showing you, kind of a smoky green, bluegill, blue, gold, pretty color. They do really cool stuff too. I should show them. Check them out. They are PNW Bass Candy. He actually did a custom tequila sunrise color for me. I asked him to. So awesome company, good folks. I think it's still the son and his dad that do it. Desert Scorpion, little swim jig here, like a crappie white bass look to it. What?
I'm not mad at
something. Oh, okay.
I like that.
Some beavers. This is like a black, purple flake or blue flake beaver, and then some brush hogs in a black and purple. You can't see it that well, the glare. There you go. A black and purple. And this was not the tequila sunrise that he did. I like these. I caught fish on this exact color in the worms, but I didn't on the brush hogs. Let's see, what else do we have? So for the Baitcaster package, some more otters. These are like a little beaver bait from Gambler. So flipping and pitching those on a Baitcaster. I threw in the combo of the razor shads and the cross eyes, one of my favorites of those. Let's see, we got speed worms. Oh, this is another good one they did. Let me show you these. These are like an old red shad color that I used to throw and always try to beat dad. Look at those. It's like a large cut tail worm. That one's kind of kinked for me in the bag, but and I actually take these so when they come stock, it's only like that. That's all the mold is. And I took my scissors when I was fishing them. I had some black ones and then cut the tail like that. So it's got more of a piece to grab there. Those things are sick. I need to have them because I like it because it's bulbous up here. Like it gets bigger up on this area. It's not just like a straight worm. So when you put the hook in here, it's got more meat. So it just doesn't rip through on one. Throwing that weightless on a hook and burning that over like pads and stuff. It's kind of a Florida thing, but that works extremely well even here in the Midwest. But super good colors. Check them out. I didn't even think of giving those guys a shout out again, but check them out. What else? Oh, some more of those menaces in like your sprayed grass watermelony, purple, green. I've got a DEBA sticker in there, and then a Thunderhawk grunt in the green punk and red. So that's the Baitcaster deal. So what else? Do you have any other? I won't crinkle this on the mic. Sorry. Do you have anything else that you throw on a Baitcaster that you're like, you know what? People always say this is spinning, but I throw it on a Baitcaster. I kind of like it.
Well, it isn't necessarily people say it's one thing or another, but for the most part, I'm probably not going to throw a buzzbait on a spinning rod just because of our type of topwater fishing areas. We get into that really scummy, mucky kind of grossness. And, you know, I need anyway a little bit stiffer of a rod, like something with a bigger backbone. And I need to be able to throw like heavier line too, to be able to get through there that you just can't get with a spinning combo.
Yeah, I think that's kind of just going back to the hook setability. I mean, you can get different spinning rods and different actions and powers, but I think when you really want to dial in the power and action of a rod, I think Baitcasters are a lot better that way. Generally, companies are going to be a lot more limited on the spinning rod side, and like I said, overall, no matter what, they always tend to run softer. So like a medium heavy fast action spinning rod is always going to be a lot softer than a medium heavy fast action casting rod. So just kind of the way they're meant to be. Okay, what else? I don't know what else I was going to had something else planned. I should have wrote this down because that was going to segue us into the next one. What do we have for questions? Let's get back to chat. What do you all think? Baitcaster versus spinning. Do you have any this or that questions as lures? Any gear questions, spinning or bait casting? If you're looking at, oh, that was another thing I was going to say is set something up. So if you had one combo to bring with you for a spinning, one combo to bring with you for bait casting, to try to do as much as you could. So I'm saying you bring your backpack. We're going to go bank fishing for an entire day. You can only bring one spinning combo and one bait casting combo. What are you bringing?
Jig rod.
Okay, so what? Give us the specs of it.
The meta is heavy.
Oh, tell us about it. You got the new 13 Fishin meta.
Yeah, I did. I like the rod quite a bit, except for the hook keeper. I don't
like the hook keeper, huh?
I just despise it. I do like what was it? The Intenza, the Shimano Intenza.
Mm-hmm.
The hook keeper on that thing is so much nicer, so much more efficient for.
Oh, it's just the little hook down there you don't like?
It seems like it gets caught. The line, like more times than not, I was having to readjust or take the looped line coming from the eyes out from underneath that.
Yeah, I've had the same issue, and what you can do is take this piece and just bend it up. So just take your fingers and grab this or push this little point and bend it up. I personally don't like these because I feel like, and I'm a bank angler, you know, a lot of the time, right? On a boat, I don't think it's as big of a deal because you just, you know, hook your hook on there and then put it in the rod locker or set it back down on your front deck. But if you're bank fishing, you hook that hook on there and then you start walking around. Any little bend will push that hook off, and then your lure's swinging around. So that's why I end up usually just hooking it on the front of the Baitcaster. But what I'll do is I usually only use this type if it's like a Texas rig, and I will push this in, bend it in toward the rod. That way, when I hook my Texas rig on it, so I can have my Texas rig ready, right? It's exposed into the plastic. It's ready to go. I can just pull it off and flip it in if I'm falling up. But I always bend that up so that way when I push, you kind of have to push the hook up in there, and having that pushed in there kind of holds your bait on. So that's one thing I've noticed with those. Yeah. So
I think the rod feels amazing. It's got great
cool looking rod.
It's really nice. I will say the what was it? The Daiwa, was it flipping? What was it called?
The Daiwa flipping.
The
flip and pitch reel.
And pitch. It seems taller. The body of it seems.
It's a little bit bigger reel. Yeah, that's one thing I tell people about Daiwas is they have a little bit larger frame size.
The crazy thing about it is it's a little bit taller in the frame size, but the spool is super small. It's not a very spool, so you're
just
getting
for flipping and pitching.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I wasn't necessarily expecting it on the rod to feel as big as what it is. I don't think it's that much of a difference from any of the other ones I have, but it just seems like a little bit too much. But yeah, that's my, uh, I think I have 8-pound fishing line on there, 80-pound
Okay.
floor. And that's the Baitcaster. As far as the spinning rod, I'm probably going to do something a little bit more compact, maybe like a 6.6 to 6.9.
Okay.
A little bit lighter of a combo where I can work it like flip and, you know, kind of get those nice little roll cast into some tighter spots and things like that. More finessey, where I can throw on like a smaller, I don't know, chatterbait, spinnerbait, you know, smaller, finessier stuff where I think I can probably get away with pretty much everything else on the Baitcaster.
John, yeah, good point on those fish, you know, that like to run, dig and run. Spinning rod, I think, is definitely a lot easier. Yeah, I've not steelhead fished or anything, but yeah, those, you know, whether it be like a carp or, you know, anything like that, it's just you try to fight a carp on a baitcaster, it's like, ooh, it's like sketchy. Little Rich, good question here. I'll get to my two in just a second, but jerkbait, what is more important, size slash shape, color and flash, or action suspend? I always go first thing for me because I really only fish like the 100, 110 size. I don't downgrade to like, you know, the smaller ones. I know I should. They catch a lot. I just don't go to it a ton. For me, the first thing I always consider is suspend slash rise. So do I want a floating if I'm trying to keep it up over, you know, vegetation? Do I want a suspending for that colder, chillier, you know, water? Or do I want it something that's going to sink? So if I'm fishing over grass that's, you know, vegetation that's only grown up 3-4 foot off the bottom, and I'm fishing at 8 foot of water, you know, I can get that thing down 4 or 5 feet just to where it's, you know, getting ready to hit that stuff and let it sink the rest of the way. So that's kind of my deal. So suspend, rise, action, and then color for me. So
For whatever reason, for me with a jerkbait, I don't use a whole lot of anything else other than a suspend. I don't use a rising and I don't use a sinking really at all because I have it in my head that I'm only going to be using that in like the spring, colder water type of fishing, spring and fall.
yeah, I mean, a good example was that day you and I were out, and I was throwing that floating one. I was getting it down just to where it was hitting that grass and then just leaving it, and it was slowly rising. And just when I would kill it there and go up, they were hitting it. Now, suspending, usually even suspending, they'll start to sink just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I had a sinking on first. It was the Berkeley. Is it the? I'm second guessing. Is it the Stunna? Berkeley Stunna?
Maybe.
Jerkbait? Gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking on that. I've got a bunch of them back there behind me. Berkeley. I don't know. I moved them. Anyway, I think it's the Berkeley Stunna. I like that one, but it is a slow sink. So yeah, you can kind of dictate where you're at. And bank fishing, it gets kind of sketchy with jerkbaits. You have to have that good steep drop off. Otherwise, I feel like, you know, a lot of the places we fish are just getting hung up all the time. So in a boat, I think you can kind of play with that sinking, suspending a lot more. Whereas bank, you're going suspending to floating a lot more. Okay, so for my combo, somebody had it. I'm so sorry. I forget where you were or who it was that had the comment. I had it ping there for a second, but mine is going to be a 7 foot. I'm going to go spinning first. A 7 foot medium, lightish to medium. So I like those spinning rigs. It seems like the weights are really wonky on them. I'm going to say up to like a half ounce-ish spinning rod. So whether that be a medium or medium light. So I can throw my smaller Ned rigs. I can throw a weightless stick bait. I don't like to have those mediums that are a little bit stiffer up into like that medium heavy range, where I feel like you get like that 3/16-ish, like starts to feel good on it. Anything below that, I feel like I don't have enough whippiness to it with light hooks. So that would be my spinning combo with, I would say, a 2,500 or 3,000 size reel. I just like the feel of them better. I don't like a real tiny spinning reel that I feel like I'm doing a Jack in the Box with. For casting combo, a Baitcaster, I would probably go, I would say the most universal is a 7-foot medium heavy, but I would say I would try to find like a mag medium heavy. So that medium heavy that's kind of in between a medium heavy and a heavy. So I can hopefully get away with, you know, heavier jigs, a little bit heavier Texas rig, frogging. So I can try to encompass all that. That would be my go-to. 15-pound fluorocarbon probably. On the spinning combo, it would probably be 10-pound braid to like an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader.
Only go 15-pound, huh?
I think I'd pick 15, maybe 17. You're right, probably 17. But then, see, I can't throw frogs if I go fluorocarbon. So if I had to do everything, I'd probably have to go mono, like 17-pound mono. And I can throw anything on it. Yeah. Trilene XL, some 7. Does it come in 17 or 16? I think it's 16. 16-pound Trilene XL. What
if you could only get XT?
I don't like the XT. That's the blue box, right?
Yeah, the XT is red. That was
I personally don't like the XT, the blue box Trilene.
I've used XT once, and I hated it because that's the extra tough. Where the XL is with the extra light.
Extra, I don't know. It's like softer, extra lovable. Yeah, extra lovable. People like it more. Here, let's get into some this or that question. So we're at 51 minutes here. In about 10 minutes, we'll do the first giveaway. Then we'll roll the second one giveaway. So let's try to get to as many questions, answering stuff here, and pay attention to chat more. I know a lot of nights, I apologize. I get completely off and chat gone wild. Okay, so Brennan, this or that, Dobbins or 13 for your bait casting and spinning rods? I have definitely played with more Dobbins rods. I personally have not had any issues with my 13 rods. I know people kind of gripe about them as saying they don't like their stuff. But I had actually one of my favorites was for spinning. Oh, he said bait casting and spinning. Yeah, I would go Dobbins just because I've played with them more, but I personally haven't had issues with my 13 stuff.
I would say 13 just because, I mean, I have this really nice Dobbins Colt. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Debo, or not, but it's pretty nice. That's the only Dobbins I have.
Yeah, Randy stole my Colt. That's a great rod. That's an awesome little budget rod. That was the 703 is what that one was. If they make it in the Colt 703, and I caught that six something pound on the Chapo on
you
that.
Had turtle bite that other one off.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a good rod. Let's see. What else do we have? People talking about different lures and stuff that they throw.
Fluger. There's a question at 8:29 from
was the stunner
88 that is Quantum or Fluger.
Quantum or Fluger, are they both owned by the same company now? That's let's see. Fluger is a Pure Fishing. Who owns Quantum now? Is that Luz, the same company that owns Luz? I think bought Quantum now, actually. I forget what that is.
Do they still make stuff?
Who?
Quantum?
Yeah. Yep. Huh. Remember they just came out with those ugly reels? They came out iCast. We were looking at iCast stuff. Oh gosh, that was like, and we're like, what the hell was Quantum doing? Really coming out with new stuff? And it's like the regular blue and or were they here? Like, I don't know. Maybe you like that color, but I thought that was pretty barfy.
I mean, it wasn't nearly as bad as that St. Croix rod.
I don't know what else I don't remember what else they came out. That's the one that sticks in my head though, as being like, ugh. But hey, it might be amazing and work awesome. Looks don't mean anything if it doesn't work.
Right.
Ooh, JB Outdoors. Anyone use BFS casting? I am not the guy to talk to on BFS. I'm not sold on it. I've tried it a couple times. I've got the Dobbins Sierra BFS rod and the Shimano SLX BFS. And I'm not sold on it. I don't love it. It's just me.
Blind Eye Fishing said Quantum was Zebco, and they believe that they're Pure Fishing now.
Oh, they're Pure. Okay, I was thinking the place that owned. What is that? Outdoors? Rather, is that something outdoors or? I don't remember. Anyway. Let's see. Pepsi's motto should be, "Is Pepsi okay?" I'll take a Coke. Oh, we don't have Coke. Is Pepsi okay? Blah. Oh, let's see. The answer is, and I'll just have a water. Thanks.
There's nothing better than some plain tortilla chips and Diet Pepsi.
Ugh.
Mm.
Go-to spinning reel size. I'm generally at 2,500 or 3,000. Seems like sometimes it's hit or miss if you can get a 2,500, but I personally like the 3,000 size. I like that it reels. It brings in a little bit more line. Again, I don't like the little tiny reels, and just if the frame and everything is the same and I don't need that much line capacity, I just go to the 2,500. But sometimes the frame of the 2,500 is smaller. The 3,000 is a little bit bigger. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter though.
Correction, Quantum is not pure fishing. Hella said that they are Rather.
Yeah, I think Rather Outdoors owns Lose, Strike King. They're the parent company over all those. Yeah. Let's see. Float. So a lot of people talking about what they would throw on. XT's too stiff. XT for backing. Yeah, I didn't like the XT either. Dude, XL is. Oh, is it really extra limp? Maybe that's what it does stand for, dude. It casts good as hell and it's strong. Like you can pull, like you can. I'll have that snagged and like be pulling it. You know when you're stuck, and you're pulling, and you finally it's like. Sounds like a pew pew shot goes off when you finally break it. So we talk go to spinning size reel. Let's start a giveaway going here. StreamYard giveaway tool.
Get out of here.
All right. Hashtag spinning. Let me share.
You did
Stop
get it
sharing.
when you have a chance.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Hashtag spinning. So this will be for the spinning bag. So if you didn't like the spinning bag or you don't throw a spinning reel rod combo enough, don't enter, or enter if you want to and give it away as a present to your sissy friend that only uses spinning stuff.
Sissy sticks.
I don't fish them sissy sticks, none. All right. Bass Daddy, this or that. Hook keeper above the reel or below the reel? Man, I am honestly torn on it. I still don't know that I've found a perfect one that I'm like, if I were to make a rod, this is what I put on all of them. I would say above, I think, so I can see what I have on there, I guess.
I will say the hook keeper on the Shimano Intensive.
Oh, yeah, well, that's not above or below, so
that's on the what's it called, the locking.
Yeah, the real tightening nut.
Yeah, the real tightening nut. That is amazing there. I don't have to worry about my line getting snagged up in it. I don't have to worry about grabbing a hold of the butt or the bottom below the reel and grabbing a hold of a hook.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's talking about above the reel or below the reel down here by your hand. I was thinking he was talking about above or below on the rod. Oh my God. Like we were just talking about. Yes. Then if that's the case, definitely above. Unless, okay, so here's my thing. Rand, don't shake your head
not
at
even
me.
gonna use it. You're just going to hook it on your reel anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing I will say, so if you have it below, so where you're just for visual reference here, if you're like me and dumb and didn't know what Bass Daddy was talking about. So when you're grabbing it here, hook keeper above the reel, good if you have a kayak. I know that's something that Burley and those guys brought up when you put it in like the tube holder thing. I'm sure other things, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. I do actually like it behind the reel for treble hook baits, because then my treble hook baits, I can hook back here, put my Velcro wrap on it. I use Velcro wraps on all my treble hook stuff. Put the Velcro wrap on it, and then when I put my rod sock on, there's nothing up here messing with it. And Randy's right. Usually when I have it's in front of it, I just hook it onto my reel anyway, so that my rod sock doesn't get blocked with stuff.
Actually, I don't remember what rod it was, but I remember I actually took a pair of wire cutters and nipped it off because I don't remember what it was, but I kept getting my line wrapped up in, I think it was either a jig rod or like a Texas rig rod or something like that, where you have that big, I guess, slack line that pops in there. Often with something, you're popping or hopping or skipping or whatever.
Popping and dropping it.
I just cut it off of there because it made me so upset.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for the donation, sir. I will take a drink for that. This or that, Ned or jig, Randall? I know this is going to be a tough one for you.
It's not even a question. It's a jig all day. 100%.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I use both kind of in different situations. If I only had to choose one for the rest of my life, and see, this is tough because what kind of jig are we talking about, right? But without knowing all that, I'm going to say a Ned rig. Ned rig is one of those that it doesn't matter where you're at. It seems like you can catch something on it, unless it's like super scummy and you can't throw it. But
so
it catches so much.
You also are losing out on all bladed jigs and spinning. Or
no, don't give me that bull crap. No, we're talking flipping / finesse jig is how I'm interpreting this.
No, you got to swim your neds from now on.
I actually do with the weedless neds. Hell yeah, you can swim those.
Damn it!
Above equals horrible for my kayak. Really? How come? I always thought it was the opposite. Below was horrible for the yak anglers.
It's more apt to get snagged or get extra line snagged in it or something.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so while we're waiting for everybody, if you only had one flavor of pop to choose, what would it be? Or you can go brand, like you can go a Pepsi, a Coke, a Shasta, orange. If you can only choose one pop for the rest of your life, which one is it? All right, how many people we have entered? 170. Wow. Okay, we got a lot of spinning fish and friends out there.
Can I say like a citrusy type soda, whether it be like a Mountain Dew, mellow?
No, it's got to be exact. This doesn't encompass everything.
Oh, son of a bucket! I'm going Diet Mountain Dew.
Filthy. Hella's in here. What's up, Hella? Filthy Ned or Debo? I know. I am just a dirty dog, aren't I? You're going what? Sorry.
Diet Mountain Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew. Barf. Mountain Dew is so bad. I don't know why people like it. It's gross. I hate it. My favorite right now, excuse me. My favorite that I'm addicted to is Diet Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper Zero.
Your favorite is a shaken up Coke Zero.
Or a shaken up. Oh, any of them, regardless of what it is. This one's already pretty flat. You see? Did you hear how much? That's all there is. I love, fun fact about Debo, I love pretty much flat pop. Anytime I get a new pop, I always shake it and let some of the carbonation go out before I even drink it. So flat pop is better than super carbonated pop.
I answer and agree with Randy solely. Bourbon.
Bourbon pop. Okay, this or that. Then we'll do this or that, Randy. Ned rig or Shaky Head for the rest of your life, all day, every day. I'm a dirty, filthy Ned rig loving nerd, so I'm saying Ned rig. Oh my god, I can't read clearly. Nico rig versus Shaky Head. My lord, I've got Ned rig on the brain. Okay, if that's the case, I'm gonna go
Shaky Head all day.
Shaky Head. Yeah, I'm going Shaky Head. The Nico rig is awesome.
Once.
It's tough because I know a lot of guys are going away from the wacky rig, Shaky Head type deal and just throwing a Nico rig and doing both, but I like the Shaky Head. Okay, so let's grab a winner here. We're gonna roll.
Hey, wait.
Spinning. Oh yeah, must be present to win.
And
if you're Canadian brethren, I'll just send you a sticker instead, because it won't cost me $1,000. No, I'm kidding. I'll do like a gift bag or something, or a gift card or something. What else? Present to win.
You're gonna email Debo a picture of your.
Yeah, I'll say that after I pick someone. All right, here we go.
Yep. Come on, me. Come on.
Come on. I don't think I've seen Joshua Simonson in here at all.
Come on, me.
Tree pounder. Trevor Wagner. I feel like, has Trevor won in the past before? It's been a long time ago, but I think Trevor won because I remembered his kayak.
Forever Trevor. Are you here, Trevor?
Do you think if Trevor's, if he's smart and funny, his friends call him Clever Trevor?
Is Trevor here? Let's see.
Trevor Wagner. Maybe he's German. Wonder if Trevor likes the hook keeper above or below. not a Bob.
Trevor's here, 841.
Trevor's here at 841. All right, I don't see him yet, but oh, there he is. Sweet. Okay, so Trevor, I need you to send an email to debosfishing@gmail.com with your mailing information and also a screenshot of your YouTube, so I know it's you, because we have had the dirty scammers trying to win stuff that watch afterwards. Don't be a dirty scammer. All right, let's do some more this or that questions for a couple minutes, and then we will get the Baitcaster bag of goodies rolling here. Let's see. So Trevor, okay, let me write this down real quick. Randall, find us a question. I have to write Trevor down so I don't forget him. Also, Kirk Blackadar. Is Kirk Blackadar in here? If he's not in here tonight, I think I'm probably going to do another giveaway, because Kirk has been, it was like weeks ago, never hit me up. But he had the big 6 cents bag, which was a really good giveaway. I'm surprised.
I was gonna Mike Vogel just re-upped his membership for 14 months.
Damn.
Ask his question, but I'm just gonna go past that one.
See, I don't see that. I don't see the re-ups. I only see new members in StreamYard. That sucks.
His
I can't call them out.
Yeah, it shows up in YouTube, but his question is this or that. You consistently catch 1-pounders in front of me all day, or he hornswoggles you all day, but you come back like the Hawks and catch an 8-pounder right in front of him as the
Dude, that game was absolutely nuts. I watched it up until, like, I don't know, there was like 3 minutes left and they were, I don't know, 12 points behind. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Stopped watching, came back, was doing something and checked it. And there was like, I don't know, a minute left, or it was less than that. And they were like a bucket behind or 2 buckets behind. Like, holy crap, they could win this. And then came back and it was an amazing game. They beat them in overtime. So yeah, I would choose that one. I would choose the one where you hornswoggle me and I come back and catch a big old 8-pounder and just slap you in the face with it.
And then I cut your line before you get it on shore on the bank.
Nope, doesn't work that way.
It did. I did it. I'm gonna do it.
Okay, so we'll just grab another winner here. Let's do a couple more this or that's. I have a new member in there. Thank you to all the members. I appreciate you all.
You should. I vote that you do a hashtag Baitcaster for the Baitcaster gear.
Hashtag Baitcaster.
Yeah, because they're way better than the sissy sticks.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so did Kirk Blackadar ever comment?
I haven't seen him. I've been trying to look.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks now. He never claimed it, so I think I'm probably gonna do a new one if he hits me up afterwards.
I won, and you're like, nope, not you.
I don't know. It doesn't matter whichever one that was. You're not winning it. Okay, Steven Zeller as a new member. Thank you very much. If I missed anybody else that was a new member tonight, please let me know. Thank you so much. Oh, it shows how long they've been a member on YouTube too. That's cool. I need to have both up like Hella does. Oh, and I need to gift people too. I should gift some memberships. That's always fun to do.
You got dual monitors. You should get monitors.
Just one monitor. I'm a simple Iowa boy. Don't know how to use multiple monitors, Randall. Ooh, okay, here we go. Chatterbait or swim jig. So this is an interesting one because for the longest time, so for me, like the longest time, a jig to me was like a swim jig. That was my go-to, any sort of jig. I was very comfortable with them, or like a flipping jig, like just to flip it around wood, reel it in, flip it around wood. It wasn't until Randy really got me hooked into like the finesse jigs and dragon jigs and slow bouncing jigs. I just never really fished them that way. To me, that was like, I'll grab a shaky head or, something like that and fish it. But as of lately, I will say, so I was going to say like my kind of chatterbait alternative back in the day was a swim jig for a long time. As of now, chatterbaits have kind of taken over. I don't even think I really threw a swim jig much last year. So chatterbait right now.
Man, that's a coin flip for me. I know I used actually both quite a bit last season. I'm probably going to go more chatterbait this year just because I've gotten a lot more. I'm probably going chatterbait or bladed, I should say.
We need to do a bait maker stream. Well, dude, you are welcome to hop on. I wanted to get so I had Arthur on one night. I wanted to have both him and Rendell on. Rendell had to go somewhere or something, and wasn't able to get on. And then the time that I did have him on, I know he was having some mic issues. So I completely forgot about that. We need to get that going. A lot of these lives have been kind of last minute planning. I know, not good. I need to think farther out. Spinnerbait or chatterbait. So to me, that's always the ultimate question I'm always playing in my head is like, I want to just fish a spinnerbait, but the chatterbait's kind of taken over lately. I kind of go in ebbs and flows of it. If I could only choose one forever, spinnerbait. That's my answer.
I'm going to go chatterbait on this question and then change my previous question to swim.
Yeah, losing big fish, I agree. Shut up, Randy. That's what we get out of it. Trying to change your answers, that calls for a shut up, Randy. Now you're disqualified. Now you have to fish a frog on a spinning rod the rest of your life. That's what you get now. Beavers or worms? That's another one that's honestly changed for me. Back when I was fishing, learning to fish a Texas rig and all growing up, Dad always threw worms. Like it was always a ribbon tail worm. It was usually always a Berkeley power bait, tequila sunrise. Once in a while, he'd deviate from that. I think like an all black he liked a lot too. I always liked the red shad and tequila sunrise. I always told Dad I was going to outfish him with the red shad color, and then never did. He would always beat me with tequila sunrise. But
Good.
always a ribbon tail worm. Randy, don't be angry about it. You're a cheating, no good, lure changing fool. Beavers have taken over for me a lot. Missile baits, D-bomb. Something like this creature baity style, of course, the reaction innovation sweet beaver that really kicked off the beaver craze. Something like this, I find myself flipping and pitching a lot more than a ribbon tail worm. Now, summer, big, large worm, big meal, hard to beat that. But if I only had to choose one right now, it'd be like a beaver style bait.
Hey, real quick, I don't know if you realize or not, but
let's redo this because it's not going to work. Not realized what?
You're at 394 viewers right now.
I saw that it shows 405 on mine right now. We're going to have to do, yeah, crazy. We're going to have to do another one. I don't want to cut it open, but there's a lot of really good 6th Sense stuff in here that somebody didn't claim.
No.
What?
That was the one I won. Wasn't it?
You didn't. No, you cheated. I'll cut it open here. I'll put it in a new bag. This one is covered in stubby hair now because it's been sitting over here. I'll put it in a new bag. I'll show you. Okay, so first we're going to draw for the Baitcaster bag that I showed you all earlier, and then we'll do another fun giveaway since we're over 400 viewers on a DEBO Live. So I'll show you this one in a second.
404 going now.
Kirk ever hits me up, I'll hook him up with something different. So let's go to this one, and it's going to be hashtag Baitcaster.
Hashtag
this will be
your screen, FYI.
Oh, whoops.
Hashtag stubby hair.
Hashtag stubby hair. Old Stubbins dog. He's upstairs tonight. He doesn't get to come down and seduce his pillow. Okay, so make sure we're sharing. All right, so hashtag Baitcaster. That'll be for the Baitcaster bag that I showed earlier. All the plastics, some crankbaits, some flipping stuff in there. Let's get to some more questions. So, Rainey, I'm going to ask you a couple this or that's that could go on spinning or bait casting. This or that. I'm going to say shaky head. How do you throw your shaky heads?
Honestly, I've been throwing them just on spinning combos.
I think that's the norm. Yeah. If you guys haven't, this was one I talked about earlier. Now that we have 412 people, this might be a new record for people watching live. I don't know that I've ever had 412 people on. But if you've not tried throwing a 1/4 ounce shaky head with a little bit heavier hook on a casting combo, it's awesome. I love it. That was a Hank Parker trick that I learned, thing that he started doing. And ever since then, I do like throwing like a little 1/4 ounce shaky head. It's not anything new. It's not like a secret or anything. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that do it, but it's not just, a little finesse deal. What else do we have for questions? I'm trying to go back through jigs and bladed jigs or crankbaits. So you can only throw one forever. Are you picking the jigs and bladed jig category or crankbaits?
Jigs and bladed jigs.
Yeah, I knew you'd pick that.
Like,
what if you're fishing the river? I know you like cranking the river.
I do like throwing a squirrel or a DT on the river. I'm still going jigs.
Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, if I could only choose one, jigs and bladed jigs or crankbaits, that's tough because it really depends on the place.
Build and non-build, or lipped and non-lipped?
Yes, lipless crankbaits or lipped crankbaits. They're all in one. You can't pick and choose. I think I would have to say jigs and bladed jigs.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. That's a toughie. Two very different ways of fishing. Depends on the day, depends on the place.
Yeah.
All right. So let's grab a winner for this Baitcaster bag. We'll do a couple more questions. Got to get a couple fun questions in, and then we'll do the 6 cents bag. I'll talk through it. Ooh, here's a good one too before it goes by. Bassos Chap. Pond or lake?
What was the classification? Was it 1,000 acres?
No, I think it was, I think he said 30 acres, 20 or 30 acres is when it went from technically a pond to a lake or something like that. Around here, we have so many that go this way, that way, back and forth. Like it doesn't even, like I'll fish some 50-acre lakes that almost feel more like a pond fishing it than it does a lake. And then there's like backwaters of some of the lakes that I fish that feel like it's more like a little pond than, we have a bunch of those. I would say 50 to like 500-acre lakes around here, which is fun because they're not crazy big. But
so it's a quick Google search, and it's saying one of the big things is ponds are usually under 25 foot deep, while lakes
really?
Like super deep, and ponds are less than 200 acres, while lakes are bigger than that.
Less than 200 acres. Wow. Yeah. So I fish a lot of really, really big ponds around here then.
200 is kind of big for me, but I agree with that. The depth idea of it. Man.
Okay. Fun question. Let's do our Baitcaster winner. Then we'll do a couple questions and then 6 cents unboxing. All right, here we go. For the Baitcaster bag. Who we got?
God, I want to win this one too.
Winner SD.
SD, are you in the chat?
SD. Okay, so we've got
SD is here. 853. Woohoo, he says. They says. Them says.
SD. All right, so SD is here. SD, email me, DEBO'SFishing@gmail.com with your mailing information so I can send you the package. Also, a screenshot of your YouTube so I know it's you. That's what we're going on. Okay, couple more questions, and then we'll get to the 6 cents bag. Let me just show what's in there real quick. Randall, look out for questions. Ask
Yep.
questions away while I'm going through the bag.
I'm watching.
Okay. So we've got, oh man, it was in here so pretty too. It was already ready to go. All right. So speaking of the lipless cranks, we've got, I think, a few in here. We got the Quake 70 and that cool orange, yellow tiger. And then the Quake 70 in, oh, what color is this? Shad scales. I really do like the scales on the 6 cents, the top. So a couple of those in there. We've got Snatch 70. I don't know what the difference is between all the different. I think they have like 3 or 4 different liplesses. Couldn't tell you the difference. I think I've only fished the Snatch, to be honest. A bluegill Snatch.
Tyrell, this or that, docks or laydowns?
Oh, lay down. Fine wood, pitch to wood all day, every day for me. There's next to frog fishing. If I could flip around like a Texas rig in like wood laydowns, that's probably the second way I prefer to fish. 6 cents axis. So that's the one with the metal bill that does the, that's the 4K shad. I love that color in the Provoke, their jerkbait. Flat-sided Crush 75X, a little bit bigger flat side compared to like the little Fritz side.
Colin 850 black/blue or green pumpkin/purple?
Green pumpkin/purple for sure. Black and blue for you, huh? Another flat side that's in like the citrus shad. What do they call it?
Black
candy citrus shad.
Black and blue for me, just because Okeechobee crawl wasn't enough.
Divine swim jig in the lavender shad. I really like this color too. It's like that lavendery purple with some shiny stuff on it. I got a stroker craw in the oxblood. I think that's it. Oh, nope. We had a stowaway in here. The 6 cents divine in this color I really like. It's like the sexy shad. Oh, 3.8 inch in the sexified shad. So like the light blue chartreuse. So that's the 6 cents bag that we're going to give away here. First, we're going to go through some questions, and then we'll do that, and then we'll get out of here. We'll be out for a fun Saturday night of fishing questions with 400 people still in here. How freaking crazy is that? Like I said, y'all blow me away every week. I see that many people watch Debo and Dizzle talk about fishing. I love it. I love it. All right, what do we got for questions? Jermaine is drooling over all that. I thought he was a Berkeley fanboy now.
Chris Russ wants to know NASCAR or spring training baseball.
Ugh, neither.
Yeah.
Not a baseball fan. I'll watch like the World Series and stuff, but I like to play baseball or go to baseball games are fun. To sit and watch baseball on TV, man, it's just boring. Same thing for NASCAR. Left turn, left turn, left turn, left turn.
Oh man.
But going to the races is really fun. So we have Hawkeye Downs, which is not too far from where I live. They have like the dirt track races that are a blast to watch when you're there. Whole different atmosphere when you're there, and you have a beverage and some snackies watching them go around. No thermal printer mentioned so far. I did finally show off the thermal printer in a vidya. This or that. Okay, here's one.
I thought that I didn't realize the thermal printer was going to get so much screen time.
No, was it too much? Did I overdo the thermal printer?
It's funny. I thought you were going to just touch on it for a quick second, and you were just like, I'm surprised there wasn't like a little heart that appeared above the thermal printer when you first showed it.
When it went over the thing, it was like,
yeah.
Okay, so right or left? I get this question a lot. So as of, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago, I taught myself, I spent one whole winter in my basement. Every night I'd come down and flip and pitch with my left hand. So not a lefty reel or not a left-handed reel, but just flipping and pitching with my left hand. So a right-handed reeler, just like this, which is what I always use. But when I flipped and pitch, I would flip and pitch this way, switch it over, and then reel. So I spent a whole winter flipping and pitching this way and reeling it in. Also at the same time, flipping and pitching with a left-handed reel and reeling it in. So I didn't have to switch. And in doing that for a whole winter, I taught myself how to use a left-handed reel, and now I use both. I do still prefer things where I have to set the hook hard. My left hand is stronger. So I'm a southpaw, right hand forward, left hand is more powerful for me. So setting the hook like this with a right-handed reel, anything cast and retrieve, I do like a left-handed so I don't have to switch. Cast it out there, reel it in with my left-handed. Randy, how about you?
That's so crazy to me to like when I sit back and think, because when growing up, my my push button, my spinning rods, they were all left hand retrieve. Where the switch happened between, you know, push button, spinning rod to baitcaster, you automatically had to switch over to a right hand retrieve. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I understand it based on like availability and things like that.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go left-handed, but fishing with you, Debo, you always have fancy ass right-handed retrieve stuff, and you're like, here, give this a shot, give this a try, do this, do that with this thing. And I was like, it's on backwards. What do I do? So using those, I've gotten a little bit more accustomed to being ambidextrous, whatever that word is, using both right and left, but left-hand retrieve for me.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Racing. Hey, man, you think you can turn left better than me? I'm going to prove you wrong out there. I'm going to turn left better than you. I give it slack, but it's actually really, really fun to watch in person. I love going to the dirt track. I haven't done that for quite some time. You know else who loves that? Is Mr. Baxter, the bait man. We need to get him on again. He used to work out, or his job place, the place he used to work, was out here, and he's been to the Newton Speedway, which is like, I don't know, 2 hours from me. We were going to meet up sometime if he ever got out here, but his job changed, and he probably won't ever come out here. But maybe one day. I would love to fish with Mr. Baxter. There's so many people I'd love to fish with. Okay, here's my question now. Pick one famous person and one other YouTuber, not me. Because you get Randy, do you know how lucky you are that you get to fish with me on a regular basis? Karma. That was me being a smart ass, and karma got me. Okay, so you have to pick one famous person. So this could be like a famous fishing person or anybody like a musician or whoever, like somebody famous, and then a YouTube fisher man or woman. So you got to pick one of both. Who would they be?
First of all, I do need to say, Debo, you're not a famous person to me. You're just one of my best buddies ever.
Well, I was kidding. I'm not famous. Anybody who says that I'm not famous. So,
you know, I think this one's going to be an odd one, but for, you know, people that maybe know me a little bit better, I would say Aaron Lewis is a famous. He was
stained. Yeah. Yep.
He's got some, you know, opinions and things like that. As far as YouTuber, I don't know.
Oh, bull crap. You do too. There's a week you wouldn't want to fish with a certain YouTuber. There's a certain week you'd want to go fish with people.
I don't think, well, okay, so I would like
week. We know you have a special Guggen love out there.
I would say any of the Guggins that have access to those ponds that have 87 dozen 10-pound around in them. Actually, you know, I changed that. AP Bassin.
Really? I figured lunkers would be your pick. I know you like lunkers a lot.
I want to go fishing with AP just because I feel like he turned over a certain type of page in his life and kind of became a different type of person.
I think it'd be really fun to spend a day with them and talk through like their journey, you know, as being like a YouTuber, talk through their journey of maybe we'll get one of them on. I know there's a bunch of people out there that got to have some sort of connection. I think it'd be fun to talk to them. People give them crap, but I feel like that whole, like, I don't know. I guess I don't see it as much. I don't watch YouTube hardly ever, but when I'm going through, I don't see the stuff like I used to of like John B and Perrick and like, and maybe they don't really do that stuff anymore. Maybe I'm just out of the loop, but I still think it'd be really interesting to see their journey.
See, I don't think Eric I don't think he's doing a whole lot anymore. I think he went into like a podcast for a hot second, He did a handful of podcasts where he was doing a show while out fishing, and that was just kind of awkward. I listened to a couple of them, and it was weird. And then I think John B has gone more like of the cinematic big.
He's always been that way. Yeah, his stuff has always been really, really good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mine, gosh, I don't even know if I could fish with one famous person. I don't have like a celebrity. I would say, like, if we're talking celebrity crush, he probably would care less about fishing, but I love Jason Momoa. Like, any sort of thing he's on, he's my man crush for acting. Besides you.
He's from Iowa. Does he live in Iowa? He's from Iowa.
He's from, he lived here for a while. So is Elijah Wood. Elijah Wood actually went to school with one of my buddies who was older than me, from like a half hour where I grew up, which is funny. And okay, here's a funny another one. Ashton Kutcher is from Iowa, where I grew up. His grandma lived in the exact same town that I grew up, like 3-4 blocks from me. And I used to actually play with Ashton and his twin brother, loosely play with them, like riding bikes. I remember on a couple occasions, had no idea who they were. So
he his twin brother back years, going out to different establishments in Cedar Rapids at nighttime. I would see him around every once in a while. Like, that was kind of weird, seeing somebody that looked a lot like him but different.
A twin? Isn't that crazy? There's people that have twins out there.
Another crazy one. Just because I finally finished The Walking Dead, I stopped sometime in like season 9 and finally watched the rest of it all the way out to the end. But Michonne, I can't think of her name right now, but she was born in Iowa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of cool things in Iowa. People talk crap about Iowa. It's way better than Nebraska. Hands down. Okay, hashtag 6th. We'll do a couple more questions while we're waiting on this one. That's for all the 6 cents goodies in the bag. I'm not taking them all out again. So if you're just joining, you like Sense stuff, 6 cents, enter it. You'll like it. Okay, so if I could say one famous person to fish with, actually, you know what? I think The Rock would be pretty awesome. He loves to fish.
There we go.
Okay. I would actually say The Rock. Yeah, I think his like listening to his story. I used to love watching wrestling back in the day. He would be my pick. And then as far as a YouTuber, dude, there's so many YouTubers I want to fish with. I couldn't even pick one, dude. So many I would love to meet and travel around and hang out with.
Little Rich asked, does Carrot Top fish?
Dude, that's the funny thing about, like, you think of like fishermen or fisherwomen, and it's like people have a life outside of fishing, and it's oftentimes funny to hear, like, so Punch, for example, like, would you pick Punch as a big like shoe collector, or just anybody like that with their second life of outside of fishing? It's fun to see people's hobbies. Oh, somebody asked the question before. Oh, it's still up, this or that. John Gross or Goss. Hot dogs or brats? That's the question. I love going to the Hawkeye basketball games and getting like the steamed bun hot dog that they do there. But if I'm at home, like grilling or like going to any sort of cookout, generally 9 times out of 10, I'm always going to take a brat.
This is going to be a hot take, but it doesn't matter which one I get. I'm going to put mayo on both of them.
I actually like mayo. I'm not mad at that. I love mayo on a hamburger, though. Mayo on a burger, if you've never tried it, is freaking awesome. Oh yeah, it's Knoxville's the dirt track, right? What's Newton?
Yeah.
Newton's the actual speedway. I'm sorry. Yeah. Knoxville, not Newton.
Independence has a circle dirt track also.
Dustin's been to Hawkeye Downs. Dustin's another guy we need to get with and fish this year. Dustin, is there room for both Randall and I on your boat? And Dustin, do you still have the purple boat? I'm kind of in love with his boat. It's black and purple. So what's your answer? Hot dog or brat?
I'm probably hot dog because I feel I want relish on it for some reason. I want to use relish, and I wouldn't use relish on a brat.
You really? You don't? Oh, I love
Relish on a brat? No.
Oh yes,
She-
relish and mustard is the way on a brat.
Mayo and a spicy brown mustard's nice.
Oh my god! Of course you would say something, Randy. I don't even know. Chuck Norris and Bill Dance. Chuck Norris doesn't go fishing. He goes humaning, and the fish just jump up into his arms. Okay, what are we at? 216. Let's get 220. We get 220 entries. I'll pull it, and then we'll get out of here. Swindle and Baitman, dude. There's tons of fun comments out here. John B and Bill Dance, Richard G and the fishing machine. That guy's cracking me up. I watched one of his videos the other day. He's something else. Punch and Wayne Gretzky.
I'm getting a lot of heat for the Mayo comment.
Paul Elias and Ben Elliott or Bill Elliott. He's the race car driver, right? Bill Elliott.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Defoe and Jeff or Paul. If you're picking Jeff and Paul, you get both of them. They come as a duo.
There's no exceptions.
Jim, Tackle Junkie, and Arlie Ermy. Dude, Arlie Ermy would have been fun as hell to fish with.
I don't know as if I could have handled it. I feel like I would have been berated the entire time.
He would. You know, a fun fact about Arlie Ermy. I think almost all of the Full Metal Jacket, which is one of my dad's favorite movies ever. I watched that like a bajillion times growing up. The drill sergeant scene when they're in the barracks, he like ad-libbed most all of that. I think he had like certain things written down. They had like a loose thing, but he pretty much went.
Didn't he? I think I watched something, and he was. Wasn't he one of those guys? He wasn't even an actor at the time that he like tried out for that movie. He was just like somebody that was a consultant because of the military background. Maybe I could be totally wrong.
Man, there's lots of TK and Bill Dance. There's all kinds of cool B-Lat and Paul and Burley. James Hetfield with Greg Blanchard. Greg Blanchard would be another fun guy to talk to. He's got a heck of a following on the kayak trail or just anything. I've watched a couple of his too, and he seems like a good dude. Man, tons and tons of good people out there. Tactical Bassin, they would be awesome to learn from. Keanu Reeves and Spencer River certified.
Hook Life said Chris Pratt is a hardcore bass guy.
Really?
Is that real?
I have no idea. All right, let's pick a winner,
like him
and then we'll get out of here. So for the 6 cents giveaway, I am sharing, right? Okay.
Yep. Be me.
Josh,
be present to win.
You don't actually get it. Everett 1984. Everett 1984. Are you present, my friend?
Present. Randall Pink Floyd said Towelie and Cartman. Okay.
Hey, you guys want to go fishing?
You guys want to catch a bass?
That would be a good one too. Mikey Balls. Yeah, we need to get Mikey Balls on. How come we haven't got Mikey on yet?
What?
I'm really bad at reaching out to people. Matt Strukel would be another good one. Aaron Lewis, Matt Tim Allen.
My computer just froze. What in tarnation?
Okay, so now I'm looking for Everett. There's Joshua Simonson lurking. Joshua, I said if it was you, you didn't get to win it. I still love you, man. Everett.
Oh wait,
did I miss it?
Back. It's time.
He's not here, but I am, Randy's. Go Everett. Everett, he's here. Okay, Everett, send me an email to DEBO'SFishing@gmail.com with your mailing info and then a screenshot of your YouTube so I know it is you. All right, well, listen, folks, this was a fun live. I think we hit a milestone for 400, and I think we hit 15 was a new max for a live. That's pretty awesome. So we'll do it again next week. Hey, if you guys and gals have any ideas for guests, I really like some of the people, that people are picking. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get some like The Rock or somebody, but if you have other YouTubers that I haven't had on, like Mikey Balls, jumps out at me. Why have we not had Mikey Balls on yet? Or SB Fishing, like Matt Strukel, I think is his name. SB Fishing seems like he'd be another good one. Rich Hellabass, we need to get him back on. I tried to get him on, and he stood me up like 5 times. Yeah, like when I tried to visit him up there, he stood me up. We need to get Jim and Baskeek on again. I haven't talked to those guys in a minute. So if you guys and gals have recommendations, leave it in the comments below, not on the live chat, but after I drop the video, put it in the actual chat comments. But that's it. We're getting out of here. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. Randall, be good over there. Stay warm over there in Nebraska. Everybody else, take care. And until next Saturday.